Step 1. What is a flow state? You've probably heard of athletes talk about being in the zone. You hear them say things like, oh, I got into the zone and that's when I started to score all the points. You got to get your mind in the zone. Athletes have known this for a very long time. Being in the zone means getting into a flow state. And this means it's like a specific period of time where your brain just has no irrelevant thought and you merge into the task that you're doing. This means that whilst you do a certain task, you're not thinking about memories from from high school. You're not thinking about irrelevant thoughts and a to-do list of what you're going to do after this. You're literally so immersed into the activity that you almost merge into it yourself. And as we discover in this guide, which this is going to make you feel really enlightened, this is the peak human experience. When you learn how to consistently get into a flow state, you're going to realize that this was the secret to happiness all along. A flow state lasts anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. I hope that you're not one of the people whose flow states is like very short because you just can't get that much done. But there's a bunch of things that I'm going to teach you to prolong how long you can get into the flow state for inside of this guide. This is very similar to the concept of deep work by the author Cal Newport. Deep work is more like the habits around your work. You don't get distracted. You don't switch tasks. Flow state is the specific block where you literally have no thought and we're narrowing in on this one specific task. So it's kind of like the next level of deep work. Step 2, how to get into a flow state. A year ago, I'm in my parents' house, in my bedroom, with a camera, about to record a video that the whole internet's gonna see. I'm recording YouTube videos for my channel, and I'm used to recording one video every day or every 2 days, but I've learned of these new productivity tactics, and I'm gonna use it on this day. I record one video. It felt like nothing because I've got no thoughts in my mind. I record the second video, the third video, the fourth video, the fifth video, the sixth video, the seventh video. I'm taken aback when I'm transferring the files over. I have recorded 7 videos and it's still the morning time. That's when it hits me of how powerful getting into a flow state can be. But on this day, as I'm transferring over these 7 video files that I've recorded before like noon, I'm realizing like I have just achieved what I thought was an exaggeration. I have done a week's worth of work whilst it's still the morning time. Programmers and software guys know this. There's a phrase called 10x programmer, and a very rich investor named Naval Ravikant, he said once, forget 10x programmers, 1000x programmers exist. And he mentioned a few. There's Notch, the guy who made Minecraft. There's Satoshi Mokoso, the guy who made Bitcoin. These are seen as 1000x programmers. What that phrase means is they are 1000 times better than the average programmer, like coder. Getting into a flow state will genuinely not just make you 1 or 2 times better. It'll make you more like 10 to 100 times better than your competition. And you know what's interesting? If you're 10 times better than the competition, you don't get 10 times the results. You get more like 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 times more results. So if you are externally motivated, focusing internally is the way to do it, because who's the fastest man alive? What's his name? You know him, right? Usain Bolt. Who's the second fastest man alive? Nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows. All glory goes to number 1. The second guy, who was 0.01 seconds slower. You can visualize like some 100-meter sprint. You can almost visualize them, right? The winner's there. He's just won. He's got the tape around him and he's just ran through it. The other guy is literally right behind him, genuinely like just the smallest amount behind him. Nobody knows he exists. Nobody knows number 2's name. Usain Bolt gets genuinely 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 times more material success than the guy behind him. The flow state is your competitive advantage. And by the way, flow state, focus, productivity, mindset, business models, all of these things we teach inside of my online community. It's called ADONIS School. It's the top link in the description. You can go there right now to see it. It's the only product that I sell, and I think it's really good. So you can just go check that out if you want. Step 3, preparing for flow. In this new modern world, we no longer work like marathon runners, trying to put in the 8 or 10 hour days. Instead, if you're a knowledge worker, if you're someone who makes money because of his brain, we work more like lions in quick sprints and then recovery afterwards. We need to prepare for work just like we would warm up before a massive workout in the gym. The setup, the preparation for the flow state work is incredibly high ROI. Because think of the two extreme guys and how they work. Let's say Jeffrey has no preparation whatsoever. He doesn't even study flow state. He wakes up, he knows he should do the very important task today, like studying, and he keeps pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing it off. Yeah, I'll study today. Oh yeah, I'll go at 5 p.m. Okay, I'll go at, I'll go at 6 p.m. 7 p.m. Yeah, I'll do it at 9 p.m. I'll do a little bit there. If he does ever sit down to do any work, he's going to be so unprepared. He's going to like feel brain fog. His diet's been poor. He's going to look through the work and it's going to feel too hard for him to make any progress. Whereas Adonis is going to prepare beforehand. Adonis is just like the best students out there who minimize the flow blockers to begin with. He already has a good diet. He already sleeps well. He's already got his notifications on his phone disabled. His phone's on silent. Then he starts to prepare for his work bout, following like a step-by-step protocol that kind of gets him into a ritual to begin work. You've probably heard of like athletes who do this. All of these top-level athletes usually have like a specific ritual that they do. I heard that from Michael Phelps, the famous swimmer. It's like, he listens to the same 8-minute song, he does the same exact stretch, then he goes up and he stands this way, and he goes left foot first, right foot. They've all got a ritual so that they can be as deep into flow as possible. And then there's Jeffrey trying to imitate Michael Phelps, and he's got like clicky knees and his feet are all flat and all fucked up, and here he is thinking about what he's going to eat after this. Which one are you, Jeffrey or Adonis? So this is exactly what you do to prepare for the flow state work bout. You might want to write this down. Number one, you have to clarify exactly what task it is that you're going to do. Too many students especially have a problem with this. They'll just say, yeah, I'll study tomorrow. It's not good enough. We need to know the specific task. So it's not just studying. It's like revising for question 3. It's practicing the exam papers for this module. It's something very specific that makes it clear. For example, for a YouTuber, it's like record the flow state video. Imagine if I just said like, yeah, I'll work tomorrow at 9 a.m. That would be me being like an asshole to my future self, because if that's me saying like, yeah, future self, you figure it out. I'm not going to plan for you. You figure it out tomorrow. When you are ready to work, you need to go spend a few minutes to figure out what the task will be. I'm not going to plan it for you. Whereas if I have respect for myself, I'll sit here thinking, okay, what task should I prepare my future me to do tomorrow? I'll record this exact video. I'll script this exact video. I'll get into a meeting with this exact person. And you want to know a secret? Most people don't even do this. Most people, it's like so vague for them what they're going to do tomorrow. And so when they do wake up, they're just trying to figure out what to do. And the time, the hours start passing by before they know it. It's 11 a.m., it's 12, it's 1 p.m. They're thinking, okay, I'll study, I'll go to the gym and stuff. And before they know it, they've missed another day of their schedule. The best students, the best workers, the best athletes, they know exactly which workout they're going to hit tomorrow. Another thing that you can do to prepare for this flow state is to have everything digitally ready. So when I'm closing down at nighttime for, my work, I shut down at 8 p.m. What I do is, first of all, I go and plan my day tomorrow, and I've got my calendar. Okay, at 5 a.m. I'm going to do this, 6 a.m. I'm going to do this task. And then I open up like the exact page that I need. So if, for example, tomorrow I'm going to go finish the script for this willpower video I'm making, I'll have that fully open full screen on my computer, just kind of ready. I'll put my computer to sleep. I'll go to sleep afterwards. But this way, when I wake up, it's like, it's literally just there, digitally ready. So you're planning to study tomorrow at like 6 a.m. You can open up like the exact page that you'd need, just so when it's time to work, it's already in front of you. The highest level athletes pay other people to set this up. For example, like the best bodybuilders and powerlifters in the world, a lot of them have coaches that their coaches will be putting on like the weight plates for them. So imagine the difference between the powerlifter who comes into the gym and the weight that he's going to have on the bar, like to begin with, and all the ones going up, someone else has put it on for him so he can focus just on executing. That's kind of like what we're doing for ourselves. We're loading the weight on for our future self so that he can just focus on executing. You can also have the physical space set up around you. With water, for example, have like water bottles where you don't even have the lid on them, so it's ready to drink. To stay in the flow state that we're about to get into, you don't even want to have something that's like, going downstairs to get some water or looking around for where the water bottle is and taking the cap off. I keep mine like this, so it doesn't even have the lid on. I keep it in the exact same place, so I can almost grab it like a robot and not even like look at it whilst I'm, still scripting like that. If you've been taking notes on everything we've just spoke about, we're going to be setting up the room, our water bottles ready, the mental perception of the task we're going to do, at what time and everything's set up right. Now this is going to make you feel really good. Just take a second to think about how much extra intention we've just put in to just preparing to do work tomorrow. The average student or worker does absolutely no preparation beforehand and then doesn't get much done because the friction to doing the work is just so high because they haven't prepared. They start doing some work and they need some water, so they go downstairs, and here we are, like, setting a new level of standard for ourselves. So if you wrote notes on this section, just glimpse at it and just think to yourself, this is what's going to make you stand apart from everyone else. Step 4, flow state in workouts. The majority of people work out in such a pathetic way. They go to the gym, they're trying to get into the zone, they're trying to perform well, and yet they keep checking their phone, they keep changing over to the next track of degenerate music, to the next song, to the next song. Here they are messaging someone on the rest break from weightlifting. Here they are talking to someone there. Absolutely no focus. You'll notice that the best athletes don't train like this. The best athletes seem very focused for all of their practice sessions. And this is like the mindset we need to have when we go to the gym, when we go train in a workout. We need to see it as like this practice session that we're trying to get continuously better. The overwhelming majority of guys who go to the gym, doing some weightlifting, they make all their muscle in like 1 year and then stop making gains after that because they stop challenging themselves. The challenge stays there, but their skill goes slightly above it, and that's why workouts just get more boring. Workouts, especially the ones where you're trying to build muscle and strength, they should be incredibly hard and strenuous. When you remember the first workouts that we did, the ones that really built a lot of muscle, how hard it was. You couldn't even open like your arm the whole way because you were so sore the day after of training biceps for the first time. It shouldn't be so different from when you become more of like an advanced athlete. It should be super difficult. You can show up to the gym and you can even physically train hard, but if you're not mentally in a flow state, you will not perform your best. You will not hit many PRs. You will not actually keep making gains. Most people's gains just kind of plateau after a while. It's because they don't train their mental state. Because mind wandering, just thinking about something irrelevant, remembering the thoughts and memories, checking your phone and being distracted like that, that will 100% lower your performance in the gym. And if your performance is lower, then your results will be lower as well. And this is 10 times more apparent when you do more of the HIIT CrossFit style workouts, which, like, for example, I could do, like 10 reps of this exercise, like I'm doing a kettlebell swing, right? Then you put it down, I'm sweaty, I'm panting, I'm tired. I could hit it again right here, right now. I could hit it again, but I won't because I'm just pussying out. The normal weightlifting sessions kind of save you from this because you have like a dedicated rest block. It's like 2-minute rest break between sets of bench press. And if you rest longer, it's kind of better because your muscles more recovered, and that's what the goal is, to have recovered muscles. Let's hit a really good set again. When you do more of these brutal Spartan training, HIIT, kettlebells, CrossFit stuff, it's like the point isn't to just try to make as much muscle as possible. The point is to have like a hard workout. And so you put the weight down, but you could hit another 5 reps if you weren't being a pussy. You're there having a rest break, knowing, okay, I could hit a few reps right now, but I'm literally choosing to be a coward. I think that these are the workouts that really challenge you mentally. So you really want to get in a flow state, or as most athletes call it, in the zone, for these workouts, because you'll have literally the grueling, sweaty, heavy panting kind of workouts that, leave you feeling super proud as you're leaving the gym, compared to those sort of dry, cold, mundane workouts where it's just like a Tuesday morning and you're just putting in the time for the gym, choosing like the gym shoes and the shorts that you're going to wear today. Step 5, flow state in relationships. Maybe you're used to your mind wandering when you're in the middle of conversations. Maybe that happens when you're having sex and you start to fantasize about a different woman. When that's happening to you, it's happening to her. When you're fantasizing about fucking a different woman whilst you're having sex with your partner, she's fantasizing about being fucked by a different guy. Not being in a flow state for your relationships is horrible. So we need to fix that. Because otherwise, all you're going to have are these sad and stupid, shallow relationships, which are just pointless. If you're with someone who's constantly overthinking and they're not even present and they're not even conscious next to you, it's like they're not even there to begin with. If you're the one who's not present, if you're the one whose mind always wanders when you're next to people, there's no point in you even being there. There's no point in them inviting you for you to be there next time. People don't want to be around others who they can tell aren't very present, because it's a very ugly trait to have. Imagine me and you were speaking. You're telling me something important and you can see that my mind just drifts. You can physically see it. You instantly would lose respect for me. And even if you somewhat liked me, the truth is you wouldn't want to spend much more time with me. Now, relationships are one of the most important parts of our lives. And in fact, in the book that I read for this video, it's called Flow by Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi, like this guy who discovered the concept of flow states. He actually ended up finding that through his studies, work and relationships were the times when we were most happy, but also most upset and depressed. The kind of like two big extremes. Work can make you super, super happy because you get into a flow state and you feel super happy with yourself, but it can make you super depressed because you could hate your work, you hate the commute and everything else attached to it. Relationships can make you super happy because it can be you in a flow state with people that you love. It can be this loving relationship that you have with this beautiful feminine woman, and it could be your mother telling you stories, but it could also be this abusive boss. It could also be this dad who shouts at you. It could also be this girlfriend that you don't even like. So they're the two extremes. Now, if we can get to the top end of this extreme, and then you can start to live this very unique, happy life.